Hello there, people of the internet. This will be a fun one. It's a little different than what I normally do, but this actually stems from a conversation that I was having with somebody. And rather than go into the conversation and talk about where that came from, I'm just going to dive right into this video. It eventually came up with the concept of, I have $20, how can I use that $20 to get the best stuff for me for an SHTF situation? Essentially, the concept is prepping on $20. Now, of course, $20 is not going to get you a whole lot of stuff, but boy, is it a really, really, really good starting point. So let's go ahead and talk about what you can get for $20. And I was looking around at what I had, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I have some really good options here to make this video on things to get for $20. So I think that one of the best things you can get right now is probably some alcohol of some sort, some kind. This small bottle right here, I paid a little under $2 for, but we're going to go ahead and count this as a $2 mark just so we have around even numbers. I'm sure that we're gonna, with all this, actually equate to a little bit less than $20, but we're not going to be counting taxes or anything whenever we go through the evaluation of all this. But this right here was a little less than $2, so we're just going to go ahead and call it at $2. But this right here, one of the most useful things I use alcohol for is starting fires. I actually use alcohol very regularly for starting fires because it's significantly cheaper to just take a cap full of alcohol versus, you know, some lighter fluid or something like that, and use that to start a fire. Not only that, but this right here can be used as a disinfectant or to clean surfaces, or, you know, insert your choice of many uses that can be done with alcohol. You could make yourself a stove with this if you had the means to be able to do that. You could just, I could probably make a whole video on things that you could do with alcohol for a survivalist situation. Now, up next, I actually have a little bag right here. Up next, I got myself 4 pounds of rice for $2. Yeah, it was actually a little bit under $2, but we'll call it $2. 4 pounds of rice for $2, and this right here will feed you for at least a couple of days. Not exactly the greatest of meals, but there you go. You got yourself 4 pounds of rice for $2. Obviously, this is not the original packaging. You could keep it in the original packaging, especially if you're not going to use it for long-term storage. All that being said, I have no idea how many calories this actually is, but I know that this right here will keep you fed for a couple of days. So there's your calorie intake, 4 pounds of rice. So that sticks us at $4. Let's go ahead and pull out something else. This is actually something that is, oh God, I dropped my thing. I dropped my camera lens. We don't want to lose that because that will mean I will inevitably scratch up the camera lens on this, and we don't want that. I got me some soap. This right here is the cheapo stuff. And, well, I think I paid like $2 for this thing as well, so that puts us at $6. You could wash yourself with this. You could wash all sorts of stuff with this. I would recommend using this more for personal hygiene than, you know, more for other things. But you definitely want to avoid infections by keeping yourself clean. This right here is not ideal for hair, but it will work on hair, and it will scrub down all of your orifices very, very well. No, it's not ideal, but boy, is it effective, and boy, is it not expensive. So another $2, that puts us at $6. Just with the alcohol, the food, and the soap, we're already off to a really good start. All right, duct tape. Oh, good old roll of duct tape. This right here is good for a tremendous amount of reasons. I know that the rice is inside of a Ziploc bag that has duct tape over top of it just to stop air from getting inside of it. If you had the rice in its original packaging, the original packaging is actually going to have air vents poked inside of that packaging. You could close that up with duct tape, so you could actually use this for your food storage. Not ideal, but it's a hell of a lot better than nothing. But I'm sure that you guys could imagine a million reasons why duct tape would be advantageous. So that's $2, $4, $6, $8 so far. All right, up next, I got a lighter. Not a whole lot to be said about lighters. I think that I got like a 5-pack of these down at the dollar store, so it's like 5 for $1. So you got yourself a bunch of lighters used for starting fires, and that is just good for a good number of reasons: for cooking food, for light, for warmth, for boiling water. I mean, insert your choice. Lots of really, really good reasons you want to get yourself a lighter, and in this case, I got myself a whole bunch of them for $1. So that's $2, $4, $6, $8, $9 so far. And this right here is something I got off the internet a while ago. This is a cheapo knife. I bought it for $1. It came from Turkey. And it's not exactly the best quality of knife, and it's still in the package, still in the box. But yeah, I mean, you would get yourself a knife for $1, so that's $10 right there. This right here does not have any serrations on it. I'd recommend getting yourself one with a serrated blade. The blade on this one also does not lock, so it is far from ideal, but I'd rather have a non-ideal knife than no knife whatsoever. So there we go. That is our $1 knife. Not the greatest of bells and whistles, but yeah, $1 knife. Set that aside, and that gives us $10. All right, up next, we do have the knife, but that's not really a good, viable means of defense. Assuming that you already have one of these, I'd recommend getting yourself one of these little boxes of 22 long rifle. This is actually 22 Magnum. My little box of 22 long rifle, my various little boxes of 22 long rifle are actually in ammunition storage, and I don't feel like digging them out. So, little boxes of 22 long rifle, they look very similar to this right here. Those typically run about $7 or so, although you could get them for less. I have seen them as low as $5. They're not going to be anything special, but you do get 50 rounds of 22 long rifle, which is, you know, a very, 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 very nice attribution to any survivalist situation. So assuming that you have the means to be able to send these downrange, that would probably be one of the best things that you could get for your $20 survivalist thing. We're just going to go ahead and call this $7, because you could get it for more, you could get it for less. I think $7 is around the average ballpark. Now, odds are those are going to be 40 grain projectiles, and they're going to be traveling at about 1,000 or so feet per second. Odds are it's not going to be anything special. If you do get something special, you'll end up paying more, and that's the exact opposite of what we want. So that leaves us with $3 so far. All right, for the remaining $3 for your prepper setup for $20, I would recommend getting some sort of medicine and antibiotic ointment or something like that. I actually got the store brand from up the road. I got their Neosporin antibiotic ointment cream and some Dayquil, which I have used a couple of times. Some Dayquil, and I paid $1.50 for each of them. They're not overly expensive if you're getting the off-brand ones, but boy, are they incredibly effective. So for that remaining $3, I would go with some sort of medicine, some sort of antibacterial, some sort of set up to where if somebody gets sick or injured, etc., you will have a means to be able to take care of them. So all of this combined, we got the fire, we got the blade, we got alcohol, duct tape, we got pretty much everything that we would need. That does add up to $20, right? No, I had one more thing. Yep, that adds up to our $20. Okie dokie then. Well, a good, solid, legitimate recommendation that I can make for you guys then, which I actually do not have right now, a really, 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 really good prepping item. Get crocheting yarn, like the cheap crocheting yarn that you can pick up like a big roll of it for $1. It is incredibly inexpensive. It's not overly strong, but you could double layer it or triple layer it to do whatever it is that you need to do. Of course, it's not going to be as strong as something like paracord or something like that. It's not really made for load-bearing surfaces, but you could absolutely use it for load-bearing. But that cheap yarn, you could get a lot of it, like whole rolls of it for $1 per roll, and you would have a lot more tying surface area than you would with something like paracord. Now that stuff will tend to stretch, so you will want to make sure that you get that nice and tightly fastened on. But one really awesome thing about the cheap yarn that is typically used for crocheting and whatnot is it is incredibly flammable, and it burns for long periods of time. I have made several torches out of that stuff in my time, and it is very effective and works very well. So if you manage to scavenge up another $1, then that is a very, very good recommendation. I don't have any of that out here with me right now because that is actually inside of my get out of town bag. So speaking of bag, all of this right here, this right here is a good solid start for your $20, but you need a way to carry it around. Well, backpacks are expensive, but if you go to the store and pick this up, odds are you'll have yourself some sort of plastic bag. No, this is not ideal. No, it is not flashy, and it's really not something that you would want to brag about. As a matter of fact, might be a little embarrassing to have something like this. Definitely not the end-all, be-all, greatest of options. But yeah, you could actually use this bag to carry things around. Actually, I have another thing in here. This is a good, cheap option if you want to substitute one of these other things for that $20 mark. Like if you do not have a 22 long rifle and you have $5 to spare, then get yourself some yarn and get yourself something like this. This is a cheapo compass. This was actually attached to something else a while ago, and I used the absolute hell out of this thing right here. But you can go online or go to the sporting goods section of Walmart or wherever and get these little cheap compasses, which do work. They will show you north, and they do have the various little degrees on it, so you can pay attention to your bearing if you know how to navigate land and continue to walk in a straight line. You could use that. You absolutely could use that little cheapo compass for navigation, and those typically run about $1 or so. So yeah, I think that this right here is a really good little setup for the very, very, very minimal amount of money that we decided to set out with. There are some other really, really good options that I was debating on throwing in on this, but for the $20, I think that this right here is the best that you can do. Combine the lighter with the alcohol, and you have yourself a way to make fires very easily. You got the knife, you got the food, you got the soap for keeping yourself clean, you got the ammunition if you need to, you got the medicines and whatnot, and then if you can afford it, get yourself yarn to assist you with holding things together or fastening things down, etc., or making torches, lighting fires, etc., and manage to get yourself a cheapo little compass to assist with land navigation. I think that this is a really good option and a really good setup. So all of this said, this is definitely a different video than I'm used to making, but it was fun, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. What would you guys pick if you only had $20 to use for a prepping situation? If you had nothing at all, and all you had was 20 bucks, what would you pick? So all this being said, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up before it ends up getting a bunch of fire ants all over it, and it looks like it's too late for that. I will see you guys on the next episode. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. Shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.